Okay, let's get it out of the way straight away. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm in Sydney. I'm a Blues supporter. We're not talking about the state of origin anymore. Hi there. My name is Mark Smith. I am Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and the UK and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we talk about everything jobs and employment throughout Australia. And we don't talk about the state of origin. Now, today we've got a lot to go through. Clearly, this morning, we've had the announcement of the minimum wage increase in Australia. So we'll take some time to look at that. That's our stat of the week. The next thing we will be looking at is that we've got jobs here in Australia, 2 hot jobs that we need to talk about. But we've also got opportunities, one in the UK and one in New Zealand, for anybody who's thinking about a new job on the other side of the planet, or even just across the ditch, or maybe you're a working holiday maker and you're looking to plan your next move. So stay tuned for those. And what about those people who are currently in a job in Australia and thinking about taking another one, and they get a counteroffer? Well, we'll be talking to Tom from our Melbourne office, and he's got a few tips on how you should handle that particular situation. And finally, we've got the results of last week's Twitter poll. So a lot to talk about. Let's jump into the stat of the week. So the Fair Work Commission has increased the minimum wage today for 2.6 million Australians, 2.7 million Australians, and the national minimum wage by 5.75%. So there's about 20.5% of the country's employees who are paid on award rates, and they will be receiving this 5.75% increase. There's a small percentage of Australians who are actually on the minimum wage, and they're going to get an 8.6% increase that brings them up into line with the minimum amounts or the minimum award amounts. So there'll be some confusion. You'll see that around the media today. So this is an interesting decision that was made today by Fair Work, because the trade unions were looking for about 7%. Employers were looking for more of that 3 to 3.8%. So they've landed somewhere in the middle there. And economists will be looking very closely at what this means for inflation going forward, because we've got to remember that the CPI for the March quarter was 7%. And just this week, I think it was this week or late last week, that we had a higher than expected inflation in April of 6.8%. What does it all mean? Well, if you're on the minimum wage, you're going to get a pay rise, 5.75% today. So it's good news for a solid 1 in 5 Australians. And that's this week's stat of the week. Couple of hot jobs in Australia this week. Here's the first one. It's a legal secretary, and it's in Parramatta. It's a temp job. Now, we've listed here that it's paying between $35 to $50 an hour. That's a big range. Why? Because we're looking to find the best person for the job, and they're open to negotiation when it comes to that hourly rate. So what experience do you need? Well, you need strong communication skills, and you need to have at least 1 year's experience within a law firm specializing in personal injury. So that area of law is personal injury, and that's what we're looking for this particular opportunity. And the person you need to speak to is Jess O'Brien from our Sydney team. You can give her a call, 82709750, or you can drop her an email, jessicao@peopletopeople.com.au, or you can simply hit apply now on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, on the links that are just provided in the comments below, and you can learn and find out more by jumping onto that link. Here's the next opportunity that we've got. It's a field service technician, also in Sydney. It's located in Banksmeadow. So for those who don't know, that's down near Mascot, offering up to about $100,000 a year plus super. They are also negotiable. So if you are interested in this role, get in touch with Joanna Middleton, joanna@people2people.com.au. Give her a call, 82709760. If you have an electrical trade qualification and a valid driver's license, and you think that you can be responsible for handling all of the technical inquiries and updating of the service requirements for this particular company. So find out more, because it's a bit unclear as to what exactly you need to do there, by hitting apply now. Hit apply now on any of the links in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube and Twitter. Okay, all right, that's this week's Hot Jobs of the Week. Working holiday makers, take note. We've got a job contract opportunity in London. So it's paying £28,000 to £32,000 on this per annum, but prorated for the 6 months for this particular opportunity, where you'll be supporting a team by sending quotes, processing orders, putting sales data into the company database. You've got to have proven experience in admin, and ideally able to start in the next couple of weeks. So are you a Brit heading home? Are you an Aussie on or a Kiwi on their way on a working holiday maker? On a working holiday, I should say. Give Hannah a call, hannah.scanlon@people2people.co.uk, or simply hit apply now on the links in the comments to learn more about this role. Now, we've got another opportunity, and it's actually across the ditch in New Zealand with our sister company, Frog Recruitment. Jacob, if you want to roll the video on that one.
Hi, I'm Kirsty. I'm one of the team leaders here at Frog Recruitment, and I am working with a healthcare company in the tech space who's looking for someone to come in and help them with a little bit of a system implementation project. In terms of the role, it is going to be looking after 5 different business entities and rolling through the system implementation, basically. So it'll be helping out with things like the dashboards, reports, templates, and actually doing the training and working closely with each department to make sure that the system is streamlined to them. In terms of the role, it is temporary.
Oh, I think we just cut off there on that particular role. That must be Jacob. He's the man behind the scenes. He's based in Auckland. He's a Kiwi. He got sick of hearing that Kiwi accent. Was that a Kiwi accent? I don't think it was. Anyway, we're actually here now with Tom from our Melbourne office, and we're going to have a quick chat to Tom about counteroffers and what that actually means. If you're actually going out and you're applying for jobs, you get an offer, you go to resign, and then suddenly they hit you up with a counteroffer. Tom, what advice do you have for somebody like that?
Thank you, Mark. So yeah, obviously when you receive one job offer, it can be a pretty easy decision. But if you receive 2, 3 job offers or even more, suddenly you've got to choose between a few perks and a few benefits. So the allure of better compensation, improved benefits, different work environments, it can really make it quite a tough decision. And it really seems that this is more relevant than ever. In our recent 2023 employment and salary trends report, we did reveal that 79% of hiring managers experienced more counter offers in 2022 than ever. So, you know, it's more relevant than ever, really. So I've just got 3 tips to share regarding how to manage this difficulty, I guess. So first off, it's really important to reflect on your reasons for leaving the role. Before resigning, assess your motivations, for seeking that new opportunity. Determine if the counter offer addresses the underlying issues that prompted your decision to leave. Money isn't everything. Always think about things like company culture, perks, everything else. People are usually, I guess, hypnotized by the dollar amount, but there's so much more to a job and making a fulfilling job than just the money. Also, evaluate the counter offer objectively. Don't just ignore it because it's come through second, third, it's not the first cab off the rank. Consider it, make sure it aligns with your long-term career goals. Think about compensation, but as I said, think about everything. It's just not all going to come down to money at the end of the day. And thirdly, communicate professionally. It's really important to just keep an open communication with your current employer and also the people that are offering these two roles. You don't want to burn any bridges. You never know, maybe the role that you end up turning down, maybe years later you end up getting hired again by that hiring manager or that company, and you really keep them in the loop, explain why you're doing everything, and I think in the long run that will really work to your benefit.
Yeah, that's really good advice, particularly in those who are watching in smaller markets, regional centres. You don't want to burn your bridges for sure. The one question, it's counter offers are such a funny thing because you're right. People always get lured by the dollar. The question I used to always say to people who I was working with when I was on the desk was, I would say, so what's changed between why didn't they give you the pay rise or this counter offer the last time you had a review? So and think about all of the reasons why you were going to leave in the first place. They still exist. So the main thing I would say, if you're thinking about taking a new job right now and you haven't asked your boss for a pay rise, and that's why you're looking to take a move, ask your boss for a pay rise. And then if they say no, and then they hit you up with a counter offer and say, well, here's that extra $5,000, $10,000 that you were looking for, then I would say, well, you could have given it to me a couple of months ago. Because the likelihood of you getting another pay rise very soon, it's not going to happen, I don't think. So, yeah. But how many times have we heard it in the last 6 months that people are receiving these counter offers in almost a panic from employers? So, yeah. So while I've got you, Tom, what's the market like in Melbourne right now?
It is moving very, very quickly in Melbourne. So definitely this time of year shouldn't be a surprise. It tends to be the time of year when businesses are feeling the most pain, where we get a lot of our work. It's a time of year where there is a lot of opportunities out there. So yeah, definitely navigating these counter offers is it's a problem for right now.
Yeah, excellent. All right. So if you're looking for a job in Melbourne or you want to talk about how to handle a counter offer, how would then get in touch with Tom? So how would they do that, Tom?
So you can contact me at Thomas, that's THOMAS, at people2people.com.au, or call me on 03 9098 7414.
Great, fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us on P2P Live. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Tom. So let's move on. Now, but while I do that, we did miss the end of that opportunity in New Zealand. So what we'll make sure we do is put a link to the role in New Zealand in the comments. So if you are looking for an opportunity in Auckland, you can click on that link, or you can simply visit frogrecruitment.co.nz and check out the opportunities. They'll all be listed on our website there. Okay, here's last week's Twitter poll. So we asked last week, how do you feel about your current salary? I thought it was very relevant given Tom's conversation just now. And what a surprise that 40% said, no, it doesn't really reflect my workload. I didn't think that was too much of a surprise. Interestingly, that was about 50% for P2P in UK. So clearly people are feeling underpaid in the UK, but in Australia, it's less so. You know the most surprising thing about this stat? That a full third, 1 in 3 of Australians right now are thinking, yeah, no, I'm pretty satisfied with my current salary. Really? I don't think I've ever said that, ever in my life. I don't think I've ever said that. But a solid 1 in 3 have said, yeah, no, I'm pretty comfortable. Well, excellent. Here's this week's Twitter poll. Now you can vote, by the way, on Twitter at People to People and on LinkedIn. We really appreciate your opinion. Or you can see all of the other results at hashtag P2P Live Australia. So this week's question is, for those who resigned in the last 6 months, did you receive a counteroffer from your employer? Let's find out. We'll see how prevalent it actually is. We've got some results from in our P2P market report that we released about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Let's see what the Twitterverse actually says. Thanks for joining us once again on a Friday afternoon to talk all things jobs and employment in Australia. We're going to do it all again next week. My name's Mark Smith. We'll see you then.